Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here with me today, because we're going to talk about something that's not only been making headlines but also deeply moved a lot of people. It's about Bar Bagta, the talented and beloved actor, and the real reasons behind his divorce from GLM Bagta, a separation that, while handled with grace, reveals the complexities of love, expectation, and what it really means to share a life with someone. So many of us look at celebrities and think their lives are perfect, but the truth is, their hearts break just like ours do. Bar Bagta is someone who has built his reputation not only with his performances but also with his quiet strength and sincerity. He's never been one to chase attention, but recently, he sat down for an interview that was different. This time, he didn't talk about roles or projects. He talked about something far more vulnerable: his marriage and why it ended. He began with a truth that many people might relate to. "I got married to become a father." Those words were simple, but they carried so much weight, because behind them was a dream, a hope, a vision of a family, of tiny footsteps running through the house, of laughter echoing in the rooms, of bedtime stories and birthdays. But as many people know, the path to building a family isn't always shared equally. Bar revealed that while he had this dream, GLM didn't share the same desire. "She doesn't want children," he said, "and that's something we couldn't align on." He didn't say it with anger. He didn't place blame. There was only honesty in his voice and maybe a touch of sadness. Because sometimes, love isn't enough. Sometimes, even when two people care deeply for each other, they want different things. And those differences, when they touch the core of who you are, become impossible to ignore. Bar and GLM made the difficult decision to part ways, not because they stopped caring, but because they respected each other enough to stop forcing something that no longer worked. It wasn't a dramatic ending. There were no accusations, no public fallouts, just a quiet understanding that their dreams were pulling them in opposite directions. And that kind of maturity is rare. Bar spoke openly about how difficult the experience has been. "It's been challenging," he said. "You enter marriage with dreams, and when they don't come true, it takes everything in you to keep moving forward." His words resonated deeply, because how many of us have held on to dreams that didn't quite match the reality we found ourselves in? How many of us have had to let go of people we loved, simply because the roads we wanted to travel were no longer the same? But what makes Bar's story even more compelling is that, despite the heartbreak, he's not bitter. He hasn't closed his heart. In fact, he's still hopeful. Hopeful that one day, he will become a father, that he will find someone who shares his vision, that the future he once dreamed of is still possible, just in a different way. He also talked about the pressures of going through something so personal while being watched by the world. Every step, every silence, every smile, all of it gets interpreted. But Bar didn't let that pressure define his story. Instead, he chose honesty. He spoke about the importance of communication, of listening, of understanding that love isn't just about passion or compatibility. It's also about timing, about shared goals, about what two people are willing to build together. And sometimes, no matter how much love there is, if the foundation isn't aligned, the structure can't stand. For GLM, her truth was just as valid. She didn't want children. That's a deeply personal decision, and one she had every right to make. And it's a reminder that in every story, there are two hearts trying their best. What makes their separation so different from many others in the public eye is the grace with which they handled it. No one was painted as the villain. There were no harsh words, just two people who chose to walk away respectfully, carrying with them both love and loss. Since the divorce, Bar has continued working, throwing himself into his projects. But those close to him say he's also taking time to reflect, to heal, to understand more deeply what he wants for the next chapter of his life. And through it all, fans continued to support him, not because he's perfect, but because he's real. Because he showed vulnerability in a world that often celebrates perfection. And in doing so, he reminded us that even those we admire go through pain, confusion, and moments of doubt. There's been a quiet strength in how Bar has carried himself. No grand gestures, no dramatic statements, just a man being honest about what hurt, what he hoped for, and what he's still looking forward to. He's also become something of a voice for those who've experienced similar heartbreak. People who had to leave relationships they thought would last forever. People who still want to believe in love, even after loss. People who are still figuring out how to turn their pain into peace. One of the most powerful things he said in his interview was this: "I would rather walk alone with clarity than stay in love with confusion." That one sentence stayed with so many people because it speaks to the courage it takes to choose clarity, to walk away from something that feels familiar but no longer fits who you are, to say no to comfort if it means saying yes to growth. And that's exactly what Bar did. He chose a difficult path because it was honest. And in doing so, he gave us all permission to do the same, to honor what we feel, to speak the truth, even when it's painful, and to believe that the right person, the right moment, and the right dream will come. It might not look the way we imagined. It might not happen on our timeline, but it will come. For now, Bar continues on his journey quietly, humbly, and with a renewed sense of what he wants from life. He hasn't given up on the dream of becoming a father. In fact, he says he feels more ready than ever, because now he knows what kind of love he needs to build a family, one based on alignment, mutual vision, and shared joy. He also continues to work hard on new projects, and fans are already buzzing with excitement about what's next for him professionally. But even as his career grows, he's made it clear his personal life will remain sacred, because some things deserve to be protected. Some stories don't need to be told to everyone, and sometimes the most meaningful moments are the ones no one else sees. So here's to Bar, an actor, a dreamer, a man learning to start over. And here's to all of you who've had to do the same. Thank you for watching this video. If this story meant something to you, if it reminded you that healing is possible, even after heartbreak, let me know in the comments. And if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the join button to help me keep telling stories that matter. Until next time, remember, you're not alone. Your journey is valid. Your dreams are still alive. And love? It might take a different shape than you expected, but it's still out there, waiting for you. See you in the next video.